Hello, guys. How are you doing today? Welcome back to your show once again. It's FarmerHubTV, where we talk about everything agriculture. And I'm glad to have you all viewing us today once again. And we have a new guest on the show, and it's a topic that we all want to get into because with the set of people, it's always important to find out a good standing in agriculture, and it's about youths in agriculture, as you can see from our topic. So our topic today is about importance of youth in agriculture, and it's very important to get, or how should I say it, start them young. So getting into it at a younger age is very important. And we have a wonderful guest who is also a youth at heart, a youth in everything. She's a farmer. She's an agricultural student, and she has her own initiative about how to get youth into agriculture at an earlier stage, by the name of Farmer Stella Sikemi Arowolo. I'm going to bring her on the show now, and she's going to do justice to the introduction and introduce herself a little bit to us. Once again, thank you for joining us on the show. Welcome, and we're glad to have you. If you do like what we're doing, do give us a thumbs up, and also subscribe to the channel. Share our channel to your friends so that they can see what we're doing, and also click on the notification button so that we're able to um, let you know when we have any other new show or any other information coming up. Thank you. Hello, good day, Farmer Stella. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. We're glad to have you on the show.
It's my
And
pleasure too.
I would want you to introduce yourself properly. Yeah, I've done a little bit of introduction about you, but I believe you the best person to introduce someone is that person. So I'll just give you like few minutes, few seconds to introduce
Okay.
yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and things like that. Thank you.
All right. My name is Farmer Stella Sikemi Arowolo. My friends and co-farmers call me Agbebiri. I am an agricultural advocate. I speak up for the advancement of youth in agriculture because I am a student of crop production in Olabisi Onabanjo University. So the reason why I came up with the initiative, which is beyond attendance, is to enhance the advancement of youth in agriculture, thereby changing various misconceptions about agriculture, which is all over in circulation, that agriculture is not a space to be. So, and I am also a soilless farmer. Thank you.
Wow, that's wonderful. Like from the start of the show, what I said was that it's always good to catch them young,
Yeah.
get someone right from a younger age. So as we're talking about youth, I know it's actually the youth are in Nigeria right now. It's
Yeah.
very difficult, and in fact, everywhere in the world, not just Nigeria, it's very
Yeah.
difficult to get a youth interested in agriculture or farming.
Agriculture.
You understand? We growing up, I know when I was growing up, I was very interested in, especially having a small cage where you have chicken inside. It's always
True.
fascinating and things like that. I know youths of nowadays, they want to get into internet, um, all that stuff. You understand
Yes,
more
exactly.
things. They believe that oh, this is what's going to make them reach out. It's going to make them popular and things like that. So, how do you basically um get youths to have that agricultural mindset to get them involved in something like this?
Okay, the way we help youth to get involved in the agri value chain is we make them understand what agriculture has to offer and the potentials in agriculture, because despite the urged potential of agriculture, agriculture is still suffering a lot of little attention because of
Mm,
various misconceptions around the agro space. You know, a lot of people believe people in agriculture, like people who are farmers are illiterate, and people who are not learned, people who are unskilled, and people who get a little of what they put a lot of effort into. So we
Mm.
try to change the various narrations about agriculture and makes youth able to explore the agricultural value chain, because looking at it, we have a level which is high rate of unemployment around us,
Mhm.
but we have very little youth who are involved in agriculture. And when looking at the high rate of unemployment, we can notice that it is youth are the one who are mainly on the disadvantaged side of getting of not being employed.
Yeah.
So agriculture has a lot to offer from the various segments of the agricultural value chain,
Mm.
which we need people to come into. So in youth coming into the agricultural value chain, we'll be able to fight against the high rate of unemployment. We'll be able to
Mhm.
improve the livelihood of farmers, because we educate them on how to do it in a very profitable way, because it will be very engaging in the side of making it looking attractive. And we'll be able to bring more innovations, because we won't allow the youth to come into agriculture from the conventional way of farming. We'll be able to bring in technology, we'll be able to bring in science, we'll be able to bring in the art of agriculture, which will help youth to see it as a place to be. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You got a little bit into the next question I wanted to ask, as in,
Right.
as a youth, how my mindset that I'm going to start farming with a cutlass, with a
Mm.
whole with doing it the whole way. Um, Technology is always the best way to go. It makes things a lot easier.
Mm.
You understand? So,
Yes.
but let's bring it down to the context of Nigeria. How do you get that technology and youth together to be able to? Because I know it could be a little bit difficult for us to, bring these things, to make it look so, profitable, so enticing to them. So how do we do this?
Okay, we do this by first changing the orientation. We notice there are little information about the technological part of agriculture. People see it as the old way of, okay, using the hoes and cutlass. Like we that we are studying agriculture, if not because I got to learn about the bright side of agriculture, it is even like a shameful thing to tell people you are studying an agricultural course in school, because they will tend to ask you, why are you studying agriculture? Do you want to go
Mm,
back to the old system of using cutlass and hoes? But along the line, I got to see the bright side of this. So we first try to change the orientation of youth and make them see the advantage of being in the agro space, because the information we feed them with will make them to get more further in the agricultural sector. Because if we don't change the orientation, it is like making someone do something they are not interested in with the old mindset. But changing the orientation is the first thing, filling them with optimum information of this is what agriculture has to offer you. You don't have to be on the farm to be a farmer. As a youth graduating from each of your various places in Nigeria, there are various aspects of agriculture you can venture into, and that is where we tend to make them explore the agricultural value chain.
mm. Wow, that's good. So giving them that idea where you see how it's done everywhere in the world, involving technology and everything into it. It makes it a lot, and definitely, because if I'm a youth and I know that I don't have to do, especially when it comes to soilless farming,
I mean,
if I know I don't have to use soil, because I've seen a lot of things like that here. I've been to some farms and everything, where they have soilless farming and everything, and I never for once thought that it's being done on a commercial level in Nigeria until I spoke to farmer Samson. That's
something, yeah,
Samson Prolific, right?
yeah,
And
yes.
that totally changed my mindset about doing it in Nigeria, because I've always I've seen it here, but I never knew it could be done commercially back home as well, and successfully as well, as it's been done over there. So as a youth, definitely I would want to get involved in something like that. And you know so coming back to you, you have an initiative where you try to get youths involved. So
Yes.
I'm just gonna bring it out this way. I'm a youth. I'm talking
Okay.
to you right now. How do you
Mhm.
sell me?
Okay, how do I sell you? Like, how do I bring you into
Bring me,
agriculture?
yeah. How do you bring me into involved? How do you get me involved? How do you make it look enticing and profitable for me to come into?
Okay, I would first like to know, are you somebody who is a little bit interested in agriculture or somebody who has a zero interest in agriculture?
Mhm.
So let's assume you are somebody who has zero interest in agriculture. For example, you studied marketing in school and you don't want to have anything to do with agriculture because you believe you can't be in the line of selling tomatoes and veggies. So I would like to tell you that in agriculture there's something called agro marketing. Okay, you are a youth and you are unemployed, you are looking for that marketing job where you'll be paid maybe over a 250,000 naira as a marketing personnel, and you've not been able to get that and you are unemployed. I would like to inform you that there is something you can do in agriculture even as a marketing graduate. So as a marketing graduate, you come into the agricultural value chain, which is the marketing value segment, because in the agricultural value chain we have from the supply inputs to the production to the harvesting to the processing and to the marketing. So if even if the people who are producing have produced well, people who are processing have processed well, what about in the marketing phase? How is the farmer going to maximize his profit? So I'm going to bring you into that idea of you have something to do in agriculture as a marketer. And being a marketer, you move into advertisement, you move into branding, and this is what you can do as an agri person who is into marketing. So the agricultural value chain has a lot to offer. And let's assume, okay, you are somebody who process, let's assuming you have cassava around you and you are a processing personnel. Okay, there are ways you can give in your gari to the masses in order to make it advanced other than the regular gari we are getting in the market. Okay, what are the advantages of your gari? What are the things your gari can do to help the health? Is it the gari that helps the vision of human? Is it the gari that helps dietary content of human? So I'll try to feed you with information of how you can be a farmer without being on the farm and getting employed, thereby giving you a thereby generating income for you. Am I communicating? So,
Yeah,
and after
definitely.
generating income for you, gradually changing your livelihood and picking you up from the side of being unemployed to being employed.
Wow. That
Yeah,
totally sold me.
yeah,
You totally sold that to me.
yeah.
And even as I am right now, I'm sold, youth or no youth or whatever. It's totally, a way to think about it. That this so one of the reasons why I started this show is always to talk to someone like you that brings in different perspective, something that we've not thought of. Because on the show I've had guests open my, even me, as I think that I know a lot, I still get guests that would open my eyes to something, and I'll be like, wow, I never knew that's possible. You understand? So it's really good. Thank you once again for joining
You're
us,
welcome.
everybody. Thank you, Stella, too. And our viewers, we have some comments that I'm going to read to you, and
Okay,
I would want you to answer or comment on them. You understand?
okay.
So we have someone from Wheezy Farms TV that says, as a youth coming out of school with little capital, which part of agriculture will you advise to venture into, livestock or plantation?
Okay. Okay, which part of agriculture should you venture into, which is a question, livestock or
Or
plantation?
plantation, yeah.
Okay, that is still the production phase. Okay, the person is still talking about being a producer. But as a youth who is coming, I would like to let you know that something you've learned in school theoretically is different from what is happening practically on the field.
Yeah.
So I would like you to learn. Okay, let's assume you are interested in poultry production. I would like you to go to a farm where poultry production is being done. I would like you to learn the processes of poultry production, and I would like you, okay, with the little capital you have you, okay, after your production, maybe you are becoming a producer. With the capital you have, start by getting something from that poultry you are working in, and start the idea of marketing it to people. because you
Mm.
need to get your market first before you come into production. Okay, have
Yeah.
you tried to study the market around you? Have you tried to, okay, you want to move into selling of eggs? Okay, have you tried to sell eggs within your reach? Have you tried to notice when people need eggs? Have you tried to notice, okay, the particular kind of eggs that is needed in your vicinity before you move into production phase fully? So you have to learn the chain of the poultry production, for instance, before you move into the total production of poultry. So as a young graduate who is coming out of school, irrespective of the agricultural venture you want to come into, I will advise you move into the marketing phase of it and explore the marketing segment, then while simultaneously learning the practical aspect of it.
Wow, that's good. So basically, you're coming out of school. You need to learn. You need to go through the phases. Not because you read agriculture in school does not mean everything is done the way it's been written on paper, right?
Exactly.
So if you get to to real life, is different from from that. That's totally good. So my next question would be about finances. A
Okay.
young man, how do we, because one of the things, me growing up, I've always wanted to have a farm and everything, but how do I get land can be very expensive. How do
Yes.
I know we talked about getting into the marketing part of it first, explore that and things like that, but assuming, okay, this is just what I want to do, I want to get into the production part of it, and I'm a young person, graduate, undergraduate, and I want to get into farming. How do and I'm not you know financially buoyant, or
Okay.
have loads of money. How does someone like that get into it? Are there initiatives that help? Are they is there any company or government programs that would help such person start up?
Okay, currently now it is not okay because we have a little bit of agricultural credits that are available to people. Although the government is working towards it to enhance, to make agriculture look attractive, and various agricultural advocates are speaking up for the advancement of making sure we have a lot of credit facility available for intending farmers. For example, farmers who have learned or farmers who are learning, okay, initiative for them to be partially or fully funded in order to help them. That is where the aspect of farm clusters come into it, in order to make people make together and give a productive idea. So for a young person who has a little amount of money to start, okay, I would like to tell you that agriculture is a long-term investment. It
Mm,
is not a Ponzi scheme like I say every time. So with that little you have, I will advise you to start with the little you have. When when you start with the little, you are visible with what you are doing. There are people who are ready to come and invest in what you are doing. But because you are not making it visible, you are waiting for the time the money will be so much, won't make people come to you, won't make you visible to investors who are really interested in your
mhm,
idea. So with the little you have, I would kindly suggest you start with it. So when you start with it, and make sure you are visible with it. For example, let's assume you are just growing a crop. Make sure you, and we have the social media on our advantage. Make sure you are always speaking to people about what you are doing. Make sure you are always posting it online. Make sure out of every 10 people that are thinking about your produce, okay, you are being referred to like eight. We have like eight people who is referring you based on what you are doing.
mm,
You
yeah.
cannot say you are doing something and you are silent about it. People need to hear you. You need to ring the alarm loud and clear that this is what you are doing. And
Yeah.
having started with the little you have, which is a gradual process, it is not an instant process, you will surely amount to something.
Amount to something. Wow,
Yeah.
that's true. Thank you so much, and also I want to thank our viewers that have joined us so far. And like I said, if you want to be part of the show, you can drop a comment or ask a question, and I'm very sure Farmer Stella will be happy to comment or answer that question. And also do, click on the subscription button, like, share, and also click on the notification button as well, so that we are able to notify you when we bring in new show and all that. Thank you so much once again, Farmer Stella.
You're
And
welcome.
my what are the problems or disadvantages that we have as a youth in getting, like, what stops a youth from getting into agriculture, like, especially putting Nigeria as a contest in it? Like, what are the things that you see that needs to be improved or that needs to be done and to help youths get into agriculture?
Okay, if I can hear you clearly, so we are talking about the challenges of
The
agriculture that is
challenges, yes.
limiting youth to come into the sector.
Exactly,
Okay,
yeah.
the number one challenge we have, which is so disheartening, is the misconception around the agro space.
Mm,
For example, the regular farmers we see are the ones that are going to the farm, our eight farmers,
mm,
our eight farmers who barely get something profitable from what they are doing, not because they don't know how to do it, but because they are not putting in the aspect of agribusiness.
agribusiness.
Okay, they are only taking their produce, they are only planting it, and maybe rearing the animal, taking it to the farm and getting little out of it.
Mm,
So the main idea is agriculture is not looking attractive in Nigeria currently, although there are various innovations to make it look attractive currently. So
mm,
the main challenge we have, it is not looking attractive, and we are gradually moving past that because agriculture is currently at its developing state in the country.
mm,
Although we can fast track that provided we want to embrace innovative ideas. And the only way we can embrace innovative ideas is for the youth to come in, because our age farmers, most of them are not ready to take in these ideas because they believe, oh, they've been doing this thing for years and it has been working out fine, which is not working out as much as it should be working. So, apart from the side of various misconceptions about the agro space, we barely have attention towards the agro sector.
mm,
And agriculture still remains the highest sector that is taking much out of the entire labor force. Agriculture is providing more jobs out of the entire labor force. So, why is the sector like that giving so much of little attention? So the government needs to put in much interest into agriculture for youth to come into, and they need to provide initiatives for youth to like see that, okay, this is profitable. Okay, a youth who wants to come into the agricultural value chain, who is interested in supply inputs, and we have a very high cost of supply input materials. How
mm.
is the youth going to be interested in venturing into it? So we say that, okay, the agro policies around having our input supply should be favorable to the farmer, should be favorable to every actor around and across the agricultural value chain. So once the youth see that, okay, people are gradually moving from the past perspective to the advanced state of agriculture, definitely other youths will want to come into it.
Want to come into it?
Yes, and we also want every youth out there to know that, okay, agriculture has gone far past beyond farming.
Mm,
Because if you have the mindset of farming is the only way you can, okay, come into agriculture, it is a very wrong side. You have to
mm,
see agriculture as in a sector whereby, irrespective of whatever you are doing, you can come into it. Like I do say, the agri value chain is long enough to accommodate everybody.
no,
Okay,
it's
explaining the agricultural value chain. If you want to be a supply input person, okay, in the aspect of growing your crops, you can come from the aspect of seedling production, you can come from the aspect of distribution of seeds, you can come from the aspect of providing equipment for the production of the crops. For
mm,
example, if they are coming into poultry production, you can come from the aspect of producing maybe vaccines, okay, of distribution, which is the marketing of all these the feeders, okay, the egg crates and all those things that is needed for the production of chickens. And the good thing about it is the farmers can't do without the adequate supply of these inputs. These
well,
inputs are needed.
one of the things I seem to be amazed about is that, especially over here, I
Okay,
I worked in logistics for a while,
okay,
and my the company I work for was actually dealing with agriculture,
okay.
so transportation of agricultural products.
Produce.
You understand? So that's a value chain as well. So,
Yes.
so agriculture is so widespread that there's so many things involved and so many ways that you could make something out of it. Not
Yes.
necessarily that you actually have to have a physical farm, you have to
Farm.
plant,
Yes.
you have to, grow something, you understand? And this is one of the things that has made places like America, US, most Western worlds understand the how to go and mine the profit of agriculture, because even here they're still trying to do a lot of things to improve the agricultural sectors. They have so many initiatives that would want to make you get into
Yes.
agriculture, you understand? And which is what we are still lacking behind, that we are not
Yes.
able to take advantage of. And so seeing someone like you, like farmers Samson Prolific,
Something.
and some of my other guests that I've spoken to do things, I'm always so amazed that wow, people are actually making things happen without any help, without
Help.
any support from our government, or the power to be back home there. And it's always so amazing, because I know what people go through to actually make these things happen, you understand? So even what we are doing right now, talking, is a value chain, you
Yes.
understand?
Agro
Trying
media.
to, agro media, exactly. So it's so wide that there's so many ways to tap into it, you get. And I'm always happy to talk to someone like you, that
Yeah.
is helping, and trying to make things happen. So now what I want you to talk about is your initiative.
Okay.
What's it all about? I know you've mentioned a little bit about it, but now I want you to delve into it. What do you do? How do you help youths, as you say? And just give us a whole rundown of how what's all about.
Okay. So the name of my initiative is Beyond Attendance.
Okay.
So from the name Beyond Attendance, I want everyone who is an agricultural undergraduate to see that being an agricultural student is far beyond, oh, I just want to be in the class, I just want to fill my attendance, I just want to have my certificate and move out of school then into another space instead of being in the agro space. So because most of us, when putting on for the admission processes, most of us did not pick agriculture as a course.
Yeah,
But due
that's
to
true.
some reasons, maybe the cutoff mark or something has led us to be in the
Yeah,
agricultural department.
very
So
true.
that alone has made a lot of agricultural students have the mindset of, oh, actually, I'm not interested in this course. I just have to stay in the course to,
Mhm.
be a graduate to have my degree.
And
So
that's
most undergraduates in the agricultural colleges are just there to, okay, let me just get this certificate and move out of here. I am not interested. And most of us even barely know what we are studying, because we just move to the classes, okay, get the lecture notes, read up for the examinations, have good grades, and pass the
like
examinations
like they say, read and pass.
and read and pass. Yeah. So the initiative is to preach to students, is to make it loud and clear to most especially agricultural undergraduates that the agricultural sector has a lot to offer you. As an agricultural student who has graduated from the university, you are not supposed to be in the position of looking for a job elsewhere, having studied agriculture in the university. You are meant to develop a niche in agriculture, which is along the agricultural value chain, which you can venture into as an animal science, as an animal scientist, as a crop scientist, as an agricultural extensionist, as somebody who has been in the school for 5 years to study agricultural economics. So, as an agricultural economics student, for example, who has graduated, you can come into agri financing, you can come into agri marketing, you can come into what is it called? Okay, agri statement, to ensure that people who are in the agricultural space are enabled to do more with their finances. So the initiative is to make it explainable to agricultural undergraduates that you are in the right space. You don't have to move away from the agricultural sector after being a graduate. And
Uh,
with little processes and little efforts, gradually, we are trying to see that this is taking ground in the agricultural sector, most especially in agricultural campuses and colleges.
No, that's such a good initiative, and I'm glad that you're doing this. And one thing I want to say is that Farmer Hub TV would want to partner with you as well. So we'll talk
All right.
about what we can do to help out as well, and
Okay.
help push this because the youth is our future,
Yeah.
and agriculture is the way out. That's what I
Yeah.
tell people
Yeah.
because every other I know Nigeria we have a lot of resources that we don't
Yeah.
manage well. Agriculture is always been there. It's been there and it's always going to be there.
There,
And
sure.
you understand it's not going anywhere. And
Yeah.
the best thing we can ever do in Nigeria is to go back to the roots, which is agriculture. At one
Culture.
point in time, that was the only natural resource we had that was helping us, giving us, funds and everything back. So we need to go back. We need to, raise up back all the dying agricultural products that like cocoa and
Yeah.
things like that. At one
Yes.
point, we were a powerhouse in all those things, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden, we somehow oil and all those other stuff that came up, they've been able to kill out the agricultural sector.
Exactly.
But another thing I always say is that it's actually, that they decide to kill it out is because they decide to invest more into it. Because if you look at our most of our powerhouses back home, our government and our officials and everything, they all have farms.
Yeah.
They all know that's where the money is. That's where,
Exactly.
and they all do. You understand? They all have farms. They have some of the best farms in the world, not even in
Mm.
Nigeria.
In Nigeria.
You understand? They do. You understand? And that's to tell you something that there's money to be made there
Yeah.
because they have the capital to invest into it and to make it what it's meant to be. You
Yes.
understand? They are able to bring in all this all this foreign help and all this products, equipments and everything, which every other person would not be able to do. You understand? So we need to get back. So I'm saying right now on the show that I would want to be part of your initiative. I
Okay.
would
All
want to
right.
help out as well as much as we can. So, and I'm
Okay.
so glad and happy that someone like you is doing this. And
Mm.
we'll leave the other talk to after the show. We'll
Okay.
talk WhatsApp and we'll see whatever we can do together. You understand? So I want to say thank you to everybody that has joined us on the show. The person we're talking to is our own farmer. She's going to be the farmer in the house for us. Yes, and so it's Farmer Stella, and like she says, she's naturally called Agbebirin, which is a
Yes.
female farmer,
The
right?
farmer.
You
Yeah.
understand? So and that's a wonderful choice of name, actually.
Mm.
And so we're glad to have
Thank
you on the
you.
show. Thank you
Yeah, my
so
pleasure.
much.
You're
And
welcome.
there's still a lot we're going to talk about. Like I said,
Okay.
your initiative and things like that. So we'll get to
Okay.
talk on, and we're still going to bring you back on the show definitely
Okay.
because there's still
Okay.
so many things I would want us to touch base on. And
Okay.
you understand. I would just want you to give us your last words
Okay.
to to the youths, even to adults, to everybody, someone that wants to be a farmer. What's going to be your last word to us all?
Okay, my last word this evening will be agriculture is the sector that can help regenerate, that can help rebrand, and that can help rebuild us and our nation entirely. Because if we are able to put in our effort into agriculture, number one, we'll be able to move the nation into zero hunger state, and in that we'll be able to move away from malnutrition, and with that we'll be able to generate income, and also with that we'll be able to enhance foreign exchange, which will at the end help the general economy of our nation. So we can't do away with shifting from the side of agriculture. We all need to come to the conclusion that agriculture is the way forward. The agriculture has something to offer everybody, irrespective of their professional field. Agriculture is also, which has the agricultural value chain, which helps agribusiness, also has the space to accommodate everybody, and we can't keep being at the mercy of okay season and other challenges. So we need to bring in the innovation, we need to bring in the technology, the science, the art in agriculture, in able to help our nation as a whole and help ourselves, most especially the youth, moving away from the high state of unemployment to be able to fend for ourselves appropriately.
Wow, well said. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I also have a comment from a viewer here. I wouldn't want to
Okay.
go without us talking about it.
Okay.
It's Wheezy Farm TV. He says, please, I'm working in Lagos. I have a
Right.
land in Port Harcourt, which I'm working towards starting my farm. But my
Okay.
fear is that how do I manage it from Lagos? Why my farm? I believe that while my farm is in Port Harcourt, what's your advice?
Okay, my advice to that is I would like you to know that as a 21st century farmer, you don't have to have a large space in order for you to own a farm. Being in Lagos, which is somewhere that we barely have a lot of space, even if it's a little section of your house you can start something there. You can be innovative and bring in the idea of soilless farming, because agriculture needs time. It's a full-time investment. It's a full-time business. You can't okay, you can as well be in Lagos and be managing your farm in Port Harcourt. But trust me, you have a lot of things to look into appropriately. So
Yeah.
I'll kindly suggest you can be innovative, even if it's a little space. If sometimes you can't, you don't even have to have a lot of space. You can embrace vertical farming, which
Mm,
can either be soiled or soilless.
mm.
So I will kindly suggest you see it into the side of, oh, how can I do something in my current state instead of me being in Lagos and farming in Port Harcourt. So that would be my advice to visit farms.
All right, thank you so much for commenting on that. So, Wheezy Farm, I hope you get that. That's an advice that I would also give to you as well. So that's good. Like you said, on our show today we have our wonderful guest on here, Farmer Stella Sikemi Arowolo. Thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
We're glad to have you, and we hope when we call again you're going to join us. Also, I have Stella's contact scrolling at the bottom of the screen. You can see that at the bottom there where it's scrolling. You can give her a call, contact her, and she'll be willing to talk to you, advise you, and see whatever you can do together. And like I said, I want to thank everybody. We've been able to hit about 200 viewers today, which is
Okay.
really good for the show. And we thank every one of you guys for joining us, for being part of the show. Remember, you can also go back on our YouTube channel and Facebook and to watch the show and and every other show that we have. We have wonderful guests that we've brought on here, and it's from me to you guys saying thank you once again, and I hopefully hope we'll see you again next week, and as you join the show. So Stella, thank you. Have a
You're
wonderful
welcome.
day. You and I
And
will
you
talk
too.
at the back end. You
Okay.
understand? But for the show, I'm going to say God's peace with everybody, and do have a wonderful day. Till we see next week. Remember, keep being a farmer. No farmers, no food. And
Yeah.
you understand? Let's help each other as farmers. Let's advise each other on how to do things so that we can have better productivity and make more profits together. And this is Farmer Hub. Your host once again, Ayodiji, signing out and saying thank you.